Most entrepreneurs plan their week like they're locking in a flight path. The ones who don't burn out by Wednesday plan their week like they're driving with GPS on. When you lock in a flight path, there is absolutely no room for error. A sudden crosswind, an unexpected storm, or a minor deviation from the coordinate system feels like an absolute crisis. You are locked into a rigid trajectory, and any disruption feels like a catastrophic failure of execution. This unyielding mindset is precisely why so many high-performing entrepreneurs find themselves trapped in a destructive cycle of all or nothing thinking. We sit down on Sunday evening and design the perfect, flawless week. Every hour is neatly colour-coded, every task is mathematically optimised, and we assume we will operate at 100% efficiency without a single interruption. But then Monday morning actually arrives. A client emergency pops up, an email thread explodes, or you simply wake up with a fraction of the physical energy you anticipated. Because your plan was treated as a rigid contract rather than a flexible guide, the moment you miss a single scheduled block, the all or nothing switch flips in your brain. You tell yourself that since Monday is already ruined, the entire week is a write-off. You abandon the plan entirely, slip into survival mode, and promise yourself that you will start over next Monday. This constant cycling between obsessive over-planning and total abandonment does more than just stall your business progress. It builds a massive, invisible allostatic load. Allostatic load is the cumulative wear and tear on your brain and body resulting from chronic unmanaged stress and constant adaptation. When you demand perfect, rigid execution from yourself in an inherently unpredictable world, your nervous system remains in a perpetual state of high alert. Every deviation from your calendar is interpreted by your brain as a failure and a threat. Over time, this chronic stress response depletes your executive function, clouds your decision-making, and leaves you completely exhausted by Wednesday. Burnout is rarely caused by having too much to do. It is caused by the constant friction of trying to force an unpredictable reality into an inflexible contractual plan. To break this cycle, you must stop treating your weekly calendar as a binding contract and start treating it as a dynamic GPS route. A GPS system operates on three simple variables that work together in real time: a destination, a current location, and a route. Your destination is the ultimate outcome you want to achieve by the end of the week. This is your non-negotiable anchor point. It might be finishing a specific pitch deck, finalizing a marketing campaign, or closing a key client. The destination remains fixed, but the path you take to get there is entirely negotiable. Your current location is where you actually are in real time, which is constantly shifting. Most people plan their week based on an idealized fictional version of themselves, completely ignoring their actual starting point. If you start your week sleep deprived, overwhelmed by a backlog of administrative tasks, or dealing with a personal crisis, your current location is very different than if you were fully rested and clear-headed. You cannot plot an accurate route without first being brutally honest about where you are starting from today, both in terms of your hours and your emotional bandwidth. The route is simply your best guess at how to get from your current location to your destination. It is a hypothesis, not a promise. When you block time on your calendar, you are not carving your actions in stone. You are simply mapping out the most logical path based on the information and energy you have at that exact moment. Once you adopt this model, the entire mechanics of your week change. You transition from a mindset of failure to a practice of constant strategic rerouting. Think about what happens when you are driving and you miss a highway exit. Your GPS does not shut down, scream at you, or call you lazy. It does not tell you to pull over to the side of the road and wait until next week to continue your journey. It does not force you to drive backward to the exact spot where you missed the turn just to do it over again. Instead, it instantly and silently accepts the new reality. It looks at your new accidental location and calmly says recalculating. Within a second, it presents you with a brand new turn, a new route that still leads to your original destination from exactly where you are standing. This is exactly how you must manage your week. When Tuesday afternoon gets completely hijacked by an urgent crisis, you do not throw away the rest of the week. You do not let shame or frustration stall your momentum. You simply pause, assess your new current location, and ask yourself how you can reroute to still reach your weekly destination. If you cannot reach the original destination because the delay was too severe, you adjust the destination to a realistic next best endpoint, and you plot the route from there. You move a block of deep work to Thursday morning, you defer a non-urgent meeting to the following week, or you scale down the scope of a project. By practicing active rerouting, you protect yourself from the cognitive trap of all or nothing thinking. You drastically reduce your allostatic load because you are no longer fighting reality, you are actively navigating it. You accept that life is full of unexpected construction zones, traffic jams and missed exits. When your plan falls apart, it is not a sign that you lack discipline or capability. It is simply a signal to recalculate. Treat your calendar as a living, breathing guide, adapt to the terrain as it unfolds, and trust that as long as you keep rerouting, you will eventually reach your destination.